We're just going live. I believe we're live. Welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you to master your mindset and maximize your money. I'm your host, Dr. LaNee. Today we're talking about prestige, titles, and power. Hold on one second. And power. Christian University is facing scrutiny after awarding multiple honorary. I'm all discombobulated. A Christian University is facing scrutiny after awarding multiple honorary doctorates. Some critics are calling it a degree mill. Others say honorary degrees have always been symbolic. So let's ask the real question. What is the value of a title if it was not earned through academic study? In a world where branding matters, perceptions matter, titles open doors, titles build authority, and titles influence how people see you. But when prestige is handed out too freely, does it lose its weight? Let's get into it. Today, I am joined by, I thought 5, multiple queens today. We have Aisha Verzi, one of our regulars. She's a financial services expert. We have Shalaye Camillo, who is the CEO of Vital Source Realty. We have an oldie but goodie favorite returning to the house today, Dr. Sabrina Edmond Williams, Life and Legacy Planning Strategy. And we may or may not have another queen bouncing back in, Dr. Angeline Dean. There she goes. She's coming back in. CEO of Melanated Neurons Communiverse. I think that hopefully I said that right. Good morning, queens. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Good morning.
So let's talk about this. First of all, let's just say what is the difference, or what do you think? Let's say that. What do you think? What do you feel is the difference between a earned PhD doctorate versus an honorary PhD? It's not even an honorary PhD; it's an honorary doctorate. So one is you get an earned PhD or doctorate of whatever, and the other one is just an honorary doctorate. I don't know what it's in. What do you guys think the differences are? I'll start with my doctors on the panel. I'll start with you, Dr. Sabrina. What do you think the difference between earned and honorary is?
Okay, as I understand it, the intent of the honorary is to acknowledge someone's contributions to a field, whether that's the field of science, the field of the arts. A person has already made a significant contribution to that field, but they did not necessarily do the academic preparation or undergo the academic rigor of going through a doctoral program. That's how I understand the honorary. Now, as one who earned a doctorate, that involves intense academic study and preparation. Some programs are highly research based, as was mine. Others may not be so much, but it is typically something that takes, in my case, I know we have now some online programs that have shortened the time frame, but in my case, it took about 4 years to complete my program. That's how I understand it.
Okay. All right, 4 years. And then Dr. Angeline, tell me about, so wait, before I do that, Dr. Sabrina, what was your degree in, or what is your degree in?
So I am one of a very small percentage of African Americans in this country who has an earned PhD in the area of engineering.
Okay, perfect. Okay. All right. Okay, Dr. Angeline, what do you feel like is the difference between an earned degree, PhD or doctorate, versus an honorary doctorate?
I think my sister summed it up. That's how I was taught, was the difference as well. And I think being in the institution of whatever institution that you're in, going through that hell while taking out them loans, while dealing with the white supremacy, that goes both ways. So I have some major issues with and you'll hear it later, but I have some major issues with everybody just giving them away, throwing them away. $5,000, you get an honorary, you get an honorary, you get an honorary. So yeah, absolutely not. And congratulations, my sister, with the engineering. Yes.
Awesome. And what is your degree in?
Urban education, and I was asked to come to my institute because of my background in organizing and national social justice.
Sweet. I love it. All right. So I'm going to switch it up a little bit for Shalaye and Aisha. And I'm going to ask, what does an honorary doctorate mean to you, right? For someone who has not actually gone to school and earned it, when you hear honorary doctorate, what do you think the difference is between an earned and an honorary, not having actually gone through school and experienced the rigor of earning one? What does it mean when you hear it, Shalaye?
So I think that Dr. Sabrina summed it up great when the phrase significant contribution to a field, right? So when I hear honorary doctorate, I'm expecting that this person who has received it has contributed something significant to a field, because that can be just as rigorous, as being in school following a curriculum, right? So I think that there's a place for it, depending, but just giving them out like it's bubble gum or a blow pop, I don't know what's going on with that.
Okay. All right, Aisha, same question to you, and then we'll watch our first video.
Yes, I think all the ladies summed it up perfectly about honorary. And I believe that as well, honorary just means somebody that has done the work, not academically, but just outside with their blood, sweat, and tears in a particular industry, and have really exemplified themselves in what they've done. And people recognize them for the work they've done because they've always been in that field and worked hard, not just to change their lives, but the lives of those people around them. So they deserve an honorary, degree like that if possible. But there are those that really did it academically to do all the research. So that, to me, that's the difference, where somebody actually spent the time and exemplify themselves in the community and really change other people's lives as well in that field. And again, they can be honorary, respected for what they've done and given that degree.
Prior to actually earning my degree, I looked at honorary doctorates. Well, prior to today, like this is a new, I would say this is like a new trend where people can buy their doctorate, right? Prior to today, when you hear that somebody is receiving an honorary doctorate, usually is from some prestigious university where they are recognizing somebody's kind of contributions to the arts or to society or to life they have lived. They have shown through their life's experiences, if that makes sense, that this is something that is deserving. They didn't academically get it, but they got it from how they lived their life, how they contributed, the experiences that they've had. And so up to this point, I was like, oh my God, that person is so deserving, or I can see it based on their life. And this part I don't know, so somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. When a prestigious university sees someone and they bestow it on you, right? So it's bestowed on you like, we want to recognize this person. We want to honor them with this. And we would like to, will you accept it? Opposed to someone saying, hey, raising my hand, I think I deserve this. And here's the money that I have. And let me tell you about what I've done. I think for me, that's the difference. Somebody saying, hey, let me honor you with this versus somebody saying, hey, you should honor me with this. And here's my money, pay me. And I deserve it. I'm going to pay you for it. That's the difference to me. So let's watch our first video and we're going to dive deeper into this conversation.
Talking about when I say honorary degrees I don't fool with, this is what I'm talking about. Trina and Trick Daddy getting an honorary doctorate. Listen, I'm pretty sure and confident Trick Daddy can't even spell doctorate. Just feel like he just can't do it, right? And Leaders Esteem is a very unique institution that keeps doing this. Like, let's go through the history of other people who have received honorary doctorates from Leaders Esteem, or a pseudo type of institution where a Black person is at the helm of leadership. Y'all remember this? When Young Jock and Tawanda Braxton and Cynthia Bailey all got it. And here's the interesting part. If you saw the video, like, the hooding ceremony is usually done with a faculty member, like your dissertation chair or someone appointed to hood you, which is basically putting see the blue thing and the red thing that's wrapped around their neck, right? That's a part of the hooding process. And in the video, Cynthia Bailey is being hooded by Tawanda Braxton. That don't make a lick of sense. Remember this fool got one too? Tyrese Gibson. Same leaders, Christian leaders esteemed Christian University. See the same woman with the blonde hair? Our own Ricky Smiley. He got a real degree from Alabama. Is it A&M or Alabama State? One of the two. And he out there with his good, look at the buddy next to him, Case. And we all remember this one. Andrea Kelly, R. Kelly's ex-wife, when she got one. Look, for the low price of $4,000, you can purchase your Doctor of Philosophy in Christian Counseling. Now, key word that I'm focusing on is Christian. I'm not here to judge nobody's walk with God because my walk ain't the same as everybody else's. But I feel pretty confident that my walk ain't nowhere close to the walk of Trick Daddy. It's Mr. Booty Hole Eater himself. Like, we not in the same space, homie. Like, my doctorate and your doctorate can nowhere near be close. They not even cousins, friends. They don't even know each other. Like, you in a whole nother continent with your doctoral degree than me. And you may be asking, what all do they offer? As you can see here, you can get you an associate's degree, a bachelor's, a master's certificate. They offer a variety of things. Their program is Christian based. Now, you may be saying, okay, so like, how do I get this started in case I want to get one of these foolish, like disrespectful degrees? Well, the instructions are here. First, you got to pay this $200 registration fee, and then you got to complete this student registration form. Notice the grammatical errors. This one, you know, it's a scam. Like, who didn't look through this to get the period correct? And then why is the website below different than the actual website? So you got down here at caddychristianuniversity.org, but the website is Esteemed University. I'm just like, yo, okay. My point in all this, y'all, is that I think that the doctorate is one of the most disrespected degrees happening right now. Like, people are just randomly either being given or they're paying to go to the Doubletree, Hilton, Westin Hotel after they paid a $200 registration fee and fill out the form to get these degrees. And for what reason, I don't know.
So first of all, the email was Gmail. Like, let's just start there. I don't know if y'all caught that, but bless their soul, the email was a Gmail. It was a Gmail email. But I want to make sure I say this because I've been dying to have this conversation. And prior to having this conversation, I talked to my mentor, Dr. Boyce, and I said, hey, I want to talk about these honorary doctorates versus earned doctorates. And he asked me why. I said, because I feel disrespected. Like, I feel disrespected that folks is out here paying they good little $4,000, and I'm out here busting my ass for 5 years, paying close to $100,000 for a degree, right? And he said, so why? Do you think you're better than them? I said, yeah. He was like, well, why don't you take your Grand Canyon University degree to Harvard or Yale and see what they say? And I was like, oh. He said, there's levels to this. So maybe you shouldn't have the conversation. So I'm super excited to be having this conversation. And I'm going to try to do it with a little bit of dignity so that my real opinions and thoughts and feelings don't come out and I don't be so shady. So I'm going to start with the doctors as we do our roundabouts, young ladies, all of us young ladies in here. So let me just start with overall thoughts on the video. Dr. Angeline, what are your thoughts about the video or about just the concept of the video with regards to buying doctorates for $4,000 versus earning doctorates and paying? I mean, I guess it's not to say that you have to pay $75,000 to be a doctorate, but the rigor. Let's talk about the rigor.
Well, no, I am saying, yeah, and I am saying you got to pay more than some $4,000. When I'm looking at my student loan that still needs to be paid back, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And then to be called some esteemed university, nothing is esteemed about that. And I feel like the man said, the more that I'm seeing this, more and more and more, I feel like we as Black people are being totally disrespected in this whole process. Because, and somebody just said this, we were having this conversation not too long ago. And I was like, no, they shouldn't, right? And so my friends was like, well, you being judgmental. And I said, baby, until you've done this process, until you have been in it, I'm
For real,
and I'm not knocking anybody's level of education. Get all that you can get, but until you have been in this part of it, you can't tell me anything. And so, no, $4,000, that's cheap, and I think it cheapens the work and the blood, the sweat, the tears that we had to actually go through. $4,000 is a slap in the face, and it's a disgrace, and it's disrespectful. And I'm finding, I don't know about you guys, may have seen other places as well, but I'm finding it's a lot of us that's doing this.
You took the words out of my mouth. We don't see this in other communities. In other communities outside of ours, you can't go and buy expertise. You can't go and buy prestige. You can't go and buy a title. I don't know of any other universities that say, they all do honorary because they're prestige universities that do an honorary, right? They want esteemed names attached to that university, right? So they'll go out and find somebody, hey, we want you to be associated with our university. Dr. Sabrina, with what's happening, should honorary degrees carry the same respect as earned degrees? And what I'm asking is there a difference between influence and expertise? Because they're going out and influencers or people of celebrities, if you will, are basically saying, hey, I should get this. I'll pay the $4,000. Give it to me, opposed to having it bestowed upon them from a true prestigious university. Do you think that there's a difference?
Mm-hmm. So, yes, let me go back to your original question about the video, our thoughts on the video.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm confused. I'm confused because the conversation initially was about honorary degrees, which are typically bestowed on individuals. There's a difference between that and paying, applying and paying for a degree. That's two totally different things. So I'm sitting here like listening to this video and I'm confused. I'm like, what? I was thinking what we were initially talking about was just this university just picking these people and saying, hey, we want to honor you with this, with this quote unquote honorary doctorate degree. But what I thought I heard was that they're actually paying the $4,000 and getting this degree. Did I miss that? I want to make sure.
No, that's correct. That is correct. For $4,000, you can receive an honorary degree, an honorary doctorate.
You can receive an honorary doctorate. So here's the thing. I think we're confused. Honor is not something that you should be necessarily seeking others out to give you. That's something that someone thinks enough of you to bestow upon you. And so I think that says a lot about the individuals themselves when they have to go seek out someone to bestow an honor upon them. And by the way, I'll give you $4,000 to do so. So no, it's not the same thing. It's not.
Okay. All right. So Shalaye and or Aisha, what were your thoughts on the video? We'll keep that one going around. How did you feel about that video, Shalaye?
Okay, so I've never really, I have seen honorary degrees, like I would see Oprah get it. And like you said, people of prestige who have dedicated their life and their energy towards bettering, a field or contributing to a field in a significant way. Even in those instances, I didn't really see the honorary degree as the same as someone who actually earned the degree. I just never really saw it on the same level. I was not aware that the hip hop community or whatever, right, is out here getting honorary degrees. I wasn't aware of that on such a large scale. And I also wasn't aware that they were paying for them. And like Dr. Sabrina said, it's actually like an oxymoron. You can't really pay for the honor of something. Honor is something that is bestowed upon you. You can't pay for that. And I think that if people want recognition, even recognition, let's take away the PhD level, right? even recognition is something that someone gives to you. You don't go and ask for it and then pay for it. Even if it was like an award, you don't go say, hey, I'll pay you $500 to give me this award and this honor. That's not the way that works. So I'm surprised that it's being taken seriously. Like I said, I hadn't really heard about it. And my whole thing is, call it something else. Don't call it an honorary PhD. Call it an honorary award of your achievement, something. I don't know. Call it something else, but don't call it a PhD. And to Dr. Angeline's point about we see it happening in the Black community. I wonder are there more Black PhDs than any other race right now? And is that why this is being allowed to happen? Because it's kind of like a slight to Black folks who have earned their PhD?
It kind of like waters it down. And you make a good point, actually. I wonder if honorary PhDs count towards the total count of earned PhDs. Is this a legitimate school? Is this a legitimate, recognized school with regards to PhDs? And I don't know if honoraries count. Maybe our executive producer can look that up for us and see. Aisha, your thoughts?
I think I'm on the same line with everybody I just spoke. Looking at the video in itself, I just felt it was just, to me, just really a title. It didn't hold any weight to me based on the way they were explaining what is happening. And I don't know any of those people that they were talking about except for Tyrese, but I think that I can just tell it's not to do with academics. It's just recognizing you for whatever you think you've done. But the fact that there's a price attached to you going to that school, and then this is what you have to pay to get the degree. It's like anybody can do that. Anybody with the $4,000 can just go and say, oh, well, I want to go through this course and get my, honorary degree as well. But in itself, I was like, wow, it just makes it so easy and not really think about the rigor behind those that actually earn their PhD. That was what I thought about the video.
Okay.
Can I just add this real quick?
Go ahead.
Can I just add this real quick? There, right now, when I first was in school several years ago, it was 1% every 10 years of Black and brown students who were getting PhDs. We have just reached 2% every 10 years of Black people getting PhDs. So that's why all the more reason I think that this is really disrespectful, because a lot of people are starting them, not completing them for whatever reasons. And sometimes it has to do with the institution itself not completing them, which is why now we have all these colleges or several colleges that are now coming to the forefront. Whereas if you're ABD of a dissertation and you've been out for a minute, you can come and finish your work. And I think one of the things that really gets me with this conversation too is some of them think that they should be called doctor, and will get mad if you don't call them doctor. I've seen that.
That's the thing, is that when you get an honorary, you're not technically a doctor. You get the honorary. So our producer did look it up. She said the answer is no. Honorary doctorates are purely title degrees in that they confer no rights on the recipient and carry with them no formal academic qualification. As such, it is always expected that such degrees be listed in one's curriculum vitae as an award and not in the education section. So it's an award. You're paying $4,000 to be awarded this thing. You are not technically deemed a doctor. You do not have a PhD. It's an honorary doctorate. And you should say, I have an honorary. When I meet somebody who has a doctor in front of them, I always ask them, oh, what's your dissertation about? What did you study? That's usually how I find out. It's my own little petty game that I play with myself. What's your dissertation about? Oh, I didn't. Oh, okay. What's yours? Oh, my dissertation is on the psychological study of psychological capital in African-American female entrepreneurs. Yours? I think we have another video. Let's go to another video. Let's go to another video. And we'll keep this conversation going. in the chat, let me know what you think about this conversation while we get ready for cue up this next video.
Every doctorate degrees need to stop. And they need to stop today. Hi, my name is Dr. LeVar Walker. I have a real doctorate degree. And to get that doctorate degree, it took a lot of years of schooling, training, a lot of tests, and board exams. I don't give a fuck if the person is a celebrity. Why are you giving them a doctorate degree? Why have doctorate degrees become some type of shit you go down and get from Party City? Stop it. Stop with this shenanigans. And I only see us getting these fake honorary degrees. I don't see any other culture celebrating no fake ass honorary degree. And the ones you're giving them to are so-called real niggas. How you a real nigga with a fake ass degree? It's time to stop it. It's time to stop it. And if you're mad, before you get mad at this post, ask yourself if you have a real doctorate degree. All right, before you respond, because I know you're going to respond and you're going to be a hater. Yes, I am a hater. I know. I'm hating. I know. So let's stop with this shit. I don't know. Y'all printing them. Y'all going somewhere paying $1,500 to get them. Let's stop it.
I will say I'm glad that I thought they were like $1,500, $2,500. So I am happy to hear that they're closer to $4,000. I will say that. And I didn't say, I kind of alluded to what my certification, what my doctorate is in. I know I had asked Dr. Angelina, Dr. Sabrina. So my study was in psychological capital, accounting for the success of African-American female entrepreneurs. I have my PhD in high performing psychology. So it aligns with what I do. A lot of times people always ask me as an entrepreneur, what do you need a PhD for? Well, I wanted to understand what I was talking about. As a business coach, I'm always talking to people, but I wanted to understand the mindset behind it. So I studied psychological capital so that I could have scientific backed information when I'm coaching Black people. I looked at psychological capital specifically because it's hope, efficacy, resilience, and optimism, all four of which are malleable, which means when I'm sitting and talking to Black people, I can help them to have hope, efficacy, resilience, and optimism to do better in life and to do better in business. It is not just what I say, it's backed by science. So that's why I took 5 years to study that. And that's why I believe that my clients do well and excel in life. And so that being said, can you buy that? Can a university monetize prestige, monetize expertise? Because the whole purpose in having a doctorate is to say, I spent time researching and studying this thing to have a level of knowledge and expertise that most do not. Most, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Sabrina and Dr. Angeline, but doctorates are less than 3% of the population on Earth, like the whole wide world, not the United States, the world. Do you guys feel that universities are so in 2023, the number of African Americans earning doctorates from the United States reached an all-time high of 2,725, representing 7.7% of all doctorates awarded to U.S. citizens or permanent residents. Now I have to know, like, is that just honorary? Not. Let me say this. I will say this. When I graduated from Grand Canyon University, and since, there are a lot of Black people in doctorate programs. At my graduation, education, you see a lot of Blacks in doctoral education programs, business programs, psychology programs. We are earning a lot of doctorates. I don't want to pretend like everybody's doctorate is bought, because that is not true. I was amazed, impressed, excited by how many Black folks I saw crossing the stage with their doctorate. So we want to make sure that we give credit where credit is due, because we are out here working for the thing, right? The majority of the folks who I see going after these honorary ones are celebrities. That's the majority of it. Celebrities. Because when you earn it, you have to have your bachelor's degree and your master's degree to get a doctorate. Right? Am I right, Dr. Sabrina? You can't just jump to the front of the line and be like, oh, I'll get an honorary. You have to actually go through these steps. So the question, Are universities monetizing prestige? Dr. Sabrina, what do you think?
Okay, so I do want to say one thing because I don't want to confuse people about something you just said. There are some programs where you don't do that, where you don't go from the route of bachelor's, master's, and PhD. You can go straight from the bachelor's into a PhD.
Yeah. Because they included. It's all inclusive. Yes.
And I remember having that option presented to me, but my mindset then was, well, what happens if something happens and I don't finish the PhD program? Then I won't even have my master's. So I did opt for the bachelor's, master's, PhD route. And I just wanted to throw that out there just for clarity in case somebody was listening. Now, Dr. LaNee, I forgot your question.
Are universities monetizing prestige? Like
monetizing prestige. Okay. Yeah. So, but here's the point. Yes, universities can do that. But again, I question not so much the universities, because clearly this esteemed Christian university is not a prestigious university. So I question the individuals. Like, why would you even want your name associated with something like that? I don't care if they given away. If you didn't have to pay the $4,000, there is something about you, the person that has gotten out here and, done what you've done in the music space or, whatever other space you're in. Why then, what's wrong with you that's not enough, that you would want to go, in my opinion, cheapen what you've done to associate yourself with something like what was it? Esteemed who? Like who? Like where'd you get that degree? Who? What's that? Okay. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to slight anybody, but I mean, that's just kind of the way I like that. That means nothing.
Okay. So you brought up a good point. What makes a school esteemed? Dr. Angeline, what makes the school legitimate?
So what I've seen and how they're judged, right? You have the R1 universities, they have the R2 universities, which are Research 1, Research 2 universities. That's how I see our colleges basing that level of esteem. And you see a lot of the college that I went to, when I first went, they was an R2. They busting their behinds right now just to become that R1 so that they can receive more funding. They're just about there. But I will also say a lot was required of us based upon that. There were a lot of stipulations and standards and hoops that we had to jump through while there. And so your other question too was something about the prestige. I question both. I question the person that's applying for it, and I question the university, because if you keep accepting all these are you in it for the money? Right. So that's to me is what it really felt like with that esteemed university. And I've seen several of them that to me, it looks like they're in it just for the money. The universities. But I do question our people, like, why, what is it in you that you feel like this is going to take you to another level? And you can't even say that you really have it. It's an honorary. You can't even use the title. So why? What's going on with you?
Yeah. People do use the title though. People do use the title. Shalaye, do you think that titles automatically create credibility? Are people doing it because when somebody hears the title doctor, pun intended, it creates a stain?
I do, depending on the audience, depending on who you're talking to. I do believe that people are going out and they're doing this, they're paying for clout. And they're paying for it, knowing that if I do this and I pay for it, this is going to land with some people, and it may increase my income. It may increase my notoriety. It may increase my reputation. So yeah, they're going into it knowing that this is going to give them a leg up, or hoping or believing that it will give them a leg up in whatever field or whatever they're trying to do next. I just, when you guys were talking about, the person and what would cause a person to go and, get this honorary degree. Well, I think that for most I think that for some people who are doing it, I don't necessarily believe they're doing it in a malicious way or in a way to kind of be tricky or to do it around some trickery. It's a field. It's something that's out there. So they're like, oh, okay, well, shoot, if I'm a coach. I write books and I want to sell more of my stuff and I'm an expert in my field. So let me go ahead. This is an avenue. Let me go ahead and take this avenue. Now, some people, come on now, Trick Daddy and Trina, we're going too far. I think that it goes too far. But when you have this available, anybody can go and apply and pay their little $4,000 and get it. But I think that it boils down to a self-worth issue for some folks. But on another hand, if we're saying it's an award, it's an award. No, you shouldn't be paying for an award, but it's an award. I think that that's the way it should be looked at. And I also think we should call it something else. Don't call it a doctorate.
Now, from what I understand, now I could be wrong, but based on our last conversation and what I know about honorary doctorates, okay? So whereas an earned doctorate, you do research, you present your case, you present your study, you defend it. My understanding, and I could be wrong, but my understanding is that with the honorary doctorate, you have to, because Shalaye brought up coaches and consultants and how they get them. I believe that they have to prove or show some type of framework, or they have to basically show that, let's say somebody is a coach of life development. They have to then go in and say, this is what I've been coaching. This is what I have seen. This is the result that my clients are getting. And therefore, I believe that based on what I do, this is that, right? There's no right or wrong. They don't have to quote anybody. They don't have to cite anything. They just have to say that I have this level of expertise and experience in this particular industry. And these are the results that I have seen based on that. That is what I believe.
So they don't have to defend it or, right? So
I don't know that part.
But is that the same thing though as the honorary Dr. LaNee? Is that I understand that some people get, bypass the research part of it because of the professional experience that they bring to the table. Mm-hmm. That's totally different though than these people out here that are, hey, I'm paying $4,000 just to be called doctor. They have an honorary bestowed on me, because that's different. And the case in point that I will make here very quickly is, let's think business. You're in the business world. Let's say a person like maybe a Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos, somebody that has built a multi-billion-dollar company. Yes, they may not have a PhD on paper academically, but they have pretty much done what the college professor, the business PhD, is teaching the students to do. So that's a totally different category than somebody that is, that person has lived experience. We have the proof, we have the Microsoft, we have the Amazon, we have all these different businesses. I mean, even if Dr. Boyce, had not done the work to have earned his PhD, he is doing the work. He's done the work. He has the proof, but there are others out here that simply don't have that. And it kind of sounds like these people just want to be recognized for whatever.
Well, it's the reason why we clap with, like, when per se, like, an Oprah gets one, or Angela Bassett gets one, or if a Denzel gets one, or a Shaq. It's the reason why we clap for those situations, because they went a different route, right? Their grind, their hustle, their expertise, their elevation in their industry is the research. They live in a case study, right? Yeah. Aisha, do you think that people should have to clarify then? Should someone have to clarify when the doctorate is honorary versus when it's earned?
I think they should clarify, even though it's, I'm an honorary doctor. I just say it so that people know, okay, you're just an honorary doctor. Because those that really earned it did a lot of work. And we know that. I think we all know that. And I think when we talked about what will make someone want to be called a doctor that didn't really go to school to actually accomplish that goal, earn it, what will make them want to do that? Again, for recognition. But I think even if you've been given that honor for the work you've done, and somebody say, oh, wow, I didn't know you were a doctor, just say, oh, honorary. And then they say, okay, good. Then they won't have to overthink it and think, oh, what did you go to school to earn that? And to me, it's funny. As I was thinking about it, I say, you know what? In my family, we have a lot of doctors, PhD, because they want to study so much. And when somebody like that comes and say they have the degree, I also want to ask them, well, what did you study? Because in my family, I know they studied hard. It took them years to get this PhD. My uncle, my own brothers, they have their PhDs. It was not easy. So I will ask them, well, what doctor are you? But you should say that you're honorary. You shouldn't say, I'm a doctor and just keep your mouth shut. Complete it. Honorary doctor.
Okay. So, executive producer, let me know if you have another video. I'll ask this question in the meantime. Are people buying perception instead of building substance? And the follow-up to that is, does prestige create authority in Black communities differently? So what I'm at, basically, if the answer is yes, right, prestige creates authority in Black communities differently, then we're buying the perception of prestige instead of actually building the substance to have it, receive it, earn it. Anyone can take this. What do you guys think about that? Anyone?
I think we have to be careful too, Dr. LaNee. I'm going to say this because even if you have this quote unquote degree, and I guess I go back to that honorary, how do you lead with that? How would somebody even know unless they know? Like, why would you have to say, yeah, my degree is honorary as opposed to, anything else? When would that even come up in conversation? Because I look at people that have this honor that has been bestowed on them. Oprah, she has had this honor bestowed on her. Who refers to her as Dr. Oprah?
No one.
Like, when does that come up? Several people. It's almost like if you truly were bestowed that honor, you have already proven everything that you need to prove. You don't have to have the doctor in front of you to put the, period at the end. You've already done that. And that's what you're being recognized for. That's why it's being bestowed upon you in the first place. So it's, yeah.
You make a good point, Dr. Sabrina. Angela Bassett doesn't go by Dr. Angela. Shaq doesn't go by Dr. Shaq. You make a good point. When it's a true honor, your life does the
your life has already spoken. Yeah,
That's
it's already spoken.
That's good.
And
can she use the title if she wanted to, and would you respect it? Can she, if she wanted to, and would you respect it? The answer is, technically and in theory, as an honorary, you're not supposed to. People do it, but it's a certificate. You're not academically a doctor. You are honorarily recognized as being a doctorate in your field from the expertise, but you are not supposed to use the title doctor. Do people do it? Yes, but you're not supposed to, because it is a certificate. It is not a true academic doctorate. So we're gonna go to another video. We got some stats, and then we're gonna keep the conversation going.
Again, it's time for us to renounce and denounce these honorary doctorates. I mean, not all of them, to be honest. Like, even though honorary doctorates annoy me, when they're conferred by institutions like, I don't know, Stanford, UCLA, UC Berkeley, Harvard, Princeton, Yale, NYU, Cornell, Columbia, Rutgers, Emory, Clark Atlanta, Morehouse, Spelman, U Chicago, I'm naming a lot of schools. Hell, Texas Christian University, and I don't throw Texas Christian University in there as an aside. That's actually a Christian university that I know that is like a prestigious private institution, right? Not Harvest Christian University. Not Harvest Christian University, which I didn't know about until about 24 hours ago when all of these honorary doctorates popped up. From like people getting honorary doctorates that I would think would know better than to accept an honorary doctorate from an institution that like no one has ever heard of and doesn't actually seem to be highly accredited and highly prestigious. I mean, it's accredited. I don't know that it's a prestigious accreditation. So Harvest Christian University is a highly accredited private institution, and it is among the 34,576 private schools in the United States, serving 5.7 million PK to 12 students. In the next paragraph, and this is on the About Our Royal School section of HCU's website, Harvest Christian University strives to be inherently better than other institutions of higher learning. It goes on to say students attending traditional four-year colleges have a high fail rate, not to mention change of original majors because of those same schools' failure to help their dreams come to fruition. Now, that entire sentence makes no sense. Like, subject verb agreement out of line. I don't know whether it's about like the high fail rate being that the school didn't make their dream come true, that they changed their majors because the school didn't make their dream come true, whatever. Then they go on to say in the last sentence of that paragraph, it started with ad campaigns, not advertising campaigns, not AD for short for advertising, but ADD, ad, plus sign. Ad campaigns that pushed the four-year dream that became the four-year nightmare with less than 18 months of academic and financial support. I don't know who wrote this. This website is rife with grammatical errors, inconsistencies up the yazoo. It's horrible. Like, I would be embarrassed if they even asked me to receive an honorary doctorate. And this just goes to show that T.I., Tiny, Andrew Caldwell, Shalaye Whitfield, Hezekiah Walker, and everybody in the spring 2004 honorary doctorate class did not even go through. You didn't even go through and do your research to see if this is an institution that you would want to be aligned with. But anyway.
Okay. So I did a little research while we were doing our discussion, right? Because I noticed something with HCU is another Christian university. So I was like, are the Christian universities out here selling doctorates? So I had to do a little looky-loo. ChatGPT said, no, it's not just them, but it did say an important distinction. It gave me all the different honorary schools that do, all the schools that do honorary degrees. And then it said, important distinction. There are also organizations that sell honorary doctorates. Those are not the same as being honored by an accredited university. A legitimate honorary doctorate comes from an accredited institution, is voted on by trustees and faculty, is not purchased, is typically awarded at commencement. If someone can apply and pay directly for it, that's usually not how respected institutions operate. The hard truth, if you can apply online, pay a set fee, receive the certification within weeks, it is not coming from a traditional accredited university. Most legitimate universities do not sell honorary degrees. They are awarded, not purchased. Ooh, Jesus. Let me get those stats because I don't want people coming for me. Let me see what the stats say. Honorary degrees do not require coursework, dissertations, or exams. Well, what the hell are you getting? Accredited institutions must meet federal and regional standards. Branding and perceived authority significantly influence business opportunities. Gender breakdown. Black women represent the majority of new doctoral recipients, earning approximately 63% to 74% of the doctorates awarded to African Americans in 2023. Approximately 4.5 million to 4.7 million people in the United States aged 25 and older hold a doctoral degree, representing about 2% of the adult population, according to the U.S. Census Bureau data from 2019 to 2022. Okay, so, I'm trying to figure out the next question. I just feel like, my goodness. Here's a good one. What is the real lesson in this situation? Shalaye, I'm going to start with you. What do you think is the lesson in this situation?
The lesson in this situation for us, the audience, for the applicants of the honorary degrees, or for these institutions who are giving them out, because I think that the lesson is going to be different based on which side of the line you're on and what you believe. Okay, so for me, looking at it, the lesson is, and I was going to have this as part of my final thought, but you just said something in the stats about the honorary doctorate does not require a dissertation. I think it should. So my thing is, there are many people out here who have done amazing community work, who have not gone to college, who have done amazing things in their fields, right? And who have not necessarily gone through a curriculum and haven't gone to a white school, or, haven't had the formal education, but they have studied. They've been self-studied. They've done research. They've done lots of amazing things in their field, right? If they wanted to apply to a doctorate program, maybe academically, maybe they would not qualify because maybe they don't have a college degree. I feel like if someone is in that situation, maybe they should be required to submit a dissertation on all of their life work and what they have contributed and what's their significant contribution. And maybe that could be like, if all of these people had to do that, then I don't think the large majority of them would have honorary doctorates. But I think it goes back to us just realizing that an honorary doctorate, what is it? It's an award. And if they paid for it, that's not an award. So we shouldn't even, we don't even recognize it.
All right, we can make that your final thought. Go ahead and tell people where they can find you.
I'm Shalaye Camillo with Vital Source Realty. I'm in Boston, Massachusetts, but I can help you buy or sell property anywhere in the United States and Canada. And you can reach me at Shalaye Camillo on IG and YouTube, or you can reach out to me at vitalsourcerealty.com.
Awesome sauce. All right, Miss Aisha, same question. What do you think the real lesson is in this situation?
Yes, as here sitting, I'm thinking about it. For me, the real lesson is this. Self-confidence comes with the work. If you do the work, it doesn't matter if you want to pursue academically or you want to do the work because that's what God has called you to do. Every single person, whether it's a doctor, PhD, earned, or somebody that worked in their field and earned it because of the hours they put into work and do the work, self-confidence. Whether if you have the title or not, just do the work so that you can feel in your own personal self, your own personal dignity that you did the work. Even if somebody doesn't give you an award for it, you did the work. To me, that's how the confidence comes through. Whether somebody calls you a doctor or not, it doesn't matter. But for those that have done the work academically, give them the title and let them hold their title. Stop trying to take their title from them because you want to be honored that way. Self-confidence is just do the work, personal dignity, and just keep moving. That's my lesson that I'm learning here, because from a family that has a lot of doctors, PhD, they don't walk around saying, call me a doctor. They don't do that because they have their personal dignity and they know that they earned it. They don't have to go around telling people that. And we saw them work hard for over a decade to be awarded that award as a PhD earner. So that's my thought. Where can you find me? Sorry, the Black Business School and also AishaVersey.com. Thank you.
Awesome sauce. All right, Dr. Angeline. I'm trying to say, being that you have an earned doctorate, I would say, what would you want to leave? What insight would you give to someone who might be thinking about going the honorary route versus the earned route?
So great question. What would I say to them? I would ask them, what is your why? Why do you need it? Why do you want it? And because a lot of my work now deals in systems literacy, I deal with the system called self first. So I would want to know exactly why sis, what is it about this honorary position that you're even willing to pay for it? So let's do some real PhD work and let's dig in self first to find out what's really going on with you. I think that's what I would start with because there's a lack of something there. And the lessons too that you were saying in the last question, I think part of our lessons too are when we keep looking at society as a whole, and we're looking at what is prestigious? What is, when I'm looking at all these rappers, right, that want it, why? Especially if you already got the money, you got this, that, and the other. What is it? But I think that says something to us as a people. It says something to us as a community, like what is really going on. And for me, I would want to dig a little bit deeper. So I am Dr. Angeline Dean. I'm the CEO and founder of Melanated Neurons Communiverse, an identity-affirming Black subscription STEAM box for children ages 7 through 12.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Is this your first time? Have you been here before? Is this my first time meeting you? Have you been here before?
Yes, your first time. Yep, I have been here before.
I was going to say, go
today as well. Yes.
Okay, no problem. Dr. Sabrina, I kind of want to take that same route, which is really just, having walked the walks and talked the talk. What would you leave someone with around a strategy or the best practice if they are actually looking for prestige and or expertise versus just being handed something? I don't want to say that it doesn't mean anything. I caught myself, but just not having gone about receiving it the old-fashioned way.
Again, assess your why. What is it that you are searching for? What are you trying to do? Why is it important to you to have prestige and esteem? And one of the things that I will tell you is you can have prestige and esteem without spending 9-10 years getting a PhD and $100,000 in student loan debt. Now you can get that if you really want that. But what is it that you're really looking for, and what are you trying to do? What contribution are you really trying to make to better society? Because those of us that did the work, there was something we wanted to add to our discipline, our fields. We weren't just doing it because we just, we liked the thought of being called doctor. It's not about that. It's really about us having a desire, really in some instances, to live be our best self. And for some of us, our best self is being the best bachelor's degreed person that we can be. And that's enough. And for others, it's about being the best master's degreed person that you can be. But for a very few of us, it was about being the best doctorate degreed person that we could be. And that's what we're trying to do. So, you can do that at any level. I would tell you, don't get caught up on this whole thing called titles. I saw a comment that I want to address quickly, Dr. LaNee, about people who have doctorates are not always, somebody said, I think that said that's smart or something.
All doctors aren't smart either, though. Right, just look at Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz.
Right. I actually had a situation last week where a fellow PhD reached out to me. My area is life and legacy planning. I discuss trust. I help people set up trust, do estate planning. This person had paid $5,000 to an attorney who, by the way, has a Juris Doctorate. Okay. This person had not properly done their work, but has been awarded a doctorate degree. So again, there's a certain level of, there's an expectation that because a person has a degree, a doctorate degree, that they're going to have certain knowledge and this, that, and the other. But look at the work. Look at that person's work, body of work. What are they really out here doing? And let that lead you. Don't just get caught up in that title. And with that being said, I am Dr. Sabrina Edmond Williams, educator, author, and investor. I've been missing y'all, and I know y'all been missing me.
Yes.
I am happy to be back today. So happy to be a part of this conversation. And you guys, I am literally honored and humbled to be Dr. Williams, because it took a lot. It took a lot of long nights. It took a lot of tears. It took a lot of people feeding into me and, putting their hands around me and saying, don't stop, keep going. That takes a lot, and you got to be ready for that. That's not easy. And that's not something that costs $4,000 either. I just put that right there. It's worth way more than any $4,000. I am here to help you with your life and legacy planning. I just released a new book, Learning to Trust: Biblical Wisdom for Building, Protecting, and Transferring Wealth. I am out here looking for churches in the faith community to do a 12-week study on what the word says about stewardship, legacy, and financial responsibility. If that is something you're interested in and you feel like your church can benefit, please hit me up. You guys can find me at I Am So Noted across platforms. Good to be back. And thank you for allowing me to be a part of this conversation today.
I love it. I am so noted. Okay, so Dr. Sabrina actually gave me my final thought, which is, why do you do it? And I never thought about it before until she was talking, and I was like, we live forever. When you actually write a dissertation and become a doctor, you live forever. Your work lives forever. You are cited. This is my dissertation. I keep it on my shelf behind me. It is ProQuest. This joker is 304 pages long. You see that? That's stats. That's research. I will forever, even when I'm gone, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, people will cite my work forever because it is written, it is cataloged. So when somebody wants to go get proof or cite something, they will be citing Dr. LaNee Javette until the end of time. That is the difference between earned and honorary. You got it. It lives for as long as you do, and as long as you talk about it. And when you go away, it goes away. When I die, my work will still live on. People will still be citing this information. And I'm getting published. I'm in the process of getting my work published in an actual journal. Okay, that's the difference. So that's going to be my final thought. That is what I would tell somebody. If you really want to be a researcher, right? If you really want to create content, copy, study, add value to something, you have to do the work, because you want somebody else to come behind you and say, pick up the torch and continue the work that you've done. That's what separates earned doctorates from honorary doctorates. Oh, that felt good. I just get that off my chest. Anyways, I'm Dr. LaNee Javette. I am a monetization strategist, a business coach, a brand new brilliant strategist, and I help Black entrepreneurs who want to make their business make sense. Call me so we can make it easy. All right, so this is Women's History Month, and my person for today is Mary McLeod Bethune. She is one of the earliest recorded Black women to receive an honorary doctorate. She received an honorary degree beginning in the 1930s, notably including one from Rollins College. Bethune was awarded an honorary doctorate of humane letters there in 1935. That was groundbreaking. At that time, segregation was still the law of the land in many places. For a Black woman born to formerly enslaved parents to be recognized academically by a white institution, that was seismic. She would go on to receive multiple honorary degrees from other institutions throughout her lifetime. Why this matters: Bethune wasn't just being honored for symbolic reasons. She founded what became Bethune-Cookman University, advised President Franklin D. Roosevelt, built institutions for Black education during Jim Crow, organized Black women politically at the national level. She didn't just chase a title, she built impact so undeniable the institutions had to acknowledge it. Boom. That's how you kick off Women's History Month. And you can give honor to an honorary doctorate at the same time. This conversation was not to say that those who receive honorary doctorates don't deserve them, because there are many of folks who do. They are bestowed upon them. They are honored with them. This conversation was to talk about those that buy them. It's not for us to say whether they are earned or not, right? Titles carry weight because people believe in what they represent. When prestige becomes easy to obtain, its value shifts. In business and in life, credibility matters, authority matters, reputation matters. Before adding a title to your name, understand what it means and what it signals. Perception influences opportunity, integrity sustains it. Thank you to our queens for the conversation. And thank you to everyone watching, to our guests, to our queens, to those of you in the chat, to those of you that tune in with us every day. We appreciate you. We love you. Please like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you tomorrow on Fly Nubian Money. Same time, same place, 1:00 p.m. Eastern. You can catch us on Spotify if you missed us here today, and go back and watch the replay. As always, stay Black, stay blessed, and be one. We'll see you guys tomorrow.